Africa, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, so much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show.
Now more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production. I want to welcome you to the Hub. Again, we have a unique moment in time to reason, to discuss, to talk, using radio and social media to connect. I want to encourage the folks on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. When you share the live, more and more people get the opportunity to view, to follow, to be a part of the conversation. So please share the live. Tonight, I want to say to all of us, we have not been given the NDC enough credit for safeguarding the finances of this country, for preventing convestors, fraudsters, conmen, and crooks from coming into Grenada and conning the government and taking millions and millions and running away with it. They have avoided that. They have prevented that. So as we celebrate 4 years, I think it is important for us to also celebrate the fact that the NDC, the same inexperienced young men and women that the NNP claimed couldn't manage the economy, they have been able to avoid, to prevent, to put the necessary structures in place to safeguard the resources of this country. Lest you forget, during the NNP time, we saw a lot of convestors, crooks, conmen, fraudsters come into Grenada and rob, rape, run away with millions and millions of dollars. None of them went to jail. None of them arrested. None of them charged. It is important because some of the same actors are still around. They are still vying to be a part of government. They want to win, they want power, and they want to form the government. Some of these same people who are part of the NNP administration of old, they are still around. So I am saying we have not given the NDC enough credit for safeguarding the little resources that we have and preventing those conmen, convestors, those crooks from coming into Grenada and stealing, taking, our money and run away with it. And I want to refresh your memory on at least 7 real examples of conmen, crooks, fraudsters, convestors who came during the NNP administration time and took from taxpayers millions and millions of dollars. Because there are young people among you, and maybe in your house right now, maybe in your vehicle, maybe on your work, maybe at home, who are unaware, who cannot remember what these convestors did, those fraudsters, those conmen and crooks did during the NNP administration time in government. The NNP administration was slack. They had no regards for taxpayers' money. They were irresponsible when it comes to taxpayers' money. And it is important to highlight some of those, fiascos and scandals where taxpayers lost millions and millions of dollars. And I want to go back to the shrimp farm because that was recent, where we lost approximately $54.2 million. Monies that could have gone to fixing roads, fixing schools, fixing medical stations, fixing police stations, creating jobs for young people. Those convestors came under the NNP administration and they were able to run away to take $54.2 million. None of them went to jail, none of them arrested, none of them charged. Those blue-eye men were able to come and trick the NNP administration, the Keith Mitchell-led administration. And I want you to remember the NNP administration. They were in power. So those convestors were able to run away, to steal $54.2 million. But I want you to take the time, get a pen, a paper, or maybe your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop, and write it down. Because they're coming again to ask you to vote for them. They want power. They want to form the government again. But you must ask them. But these convestors were able to trick you and run away with all of this money. You did nothing about it. How can we trust you again to come in government and safeguard our small resources, our little resources? Can we trust you with taxpayers' money and with state resources? Because look at the amount of white guys, blue-eyed guys, who came to this country and took millions from taxpayers under the NNP administration, and none of them went to jail, none of them arrested, none of them charged. $54.2 million vanish just like that. That's the shrimp farm in Victoria. And then we had the fall farm in Victoria, in St. Mark. Lest you forget that. Because they promised shrimps. We did not get a kakadu. We did not get crayfish. We did not get a mullet. They promised the fall farm. We lost approximately $18 million in that fall farm. We did not get a piece of back and neck. We did not get a piece of neck. We did not get a piece of thigh, a piece of breast. We did not get a piece of wing. We did not get not even a feather. Not even, let's say they were doing layers, not even an egg at Victoria at this particular fall farm. But we lost approximately $18 million. So 54.2 million plus 18 million. I want you to do the maths. So the shrimp farm, $54.2 million. The fall farm, approximately $18 million. Then we had the Garden Groups of company, or the Garden Group Limited, where after Hurricane Ivan, the NNP administration had all or nearly all those indigenous small hotels, guest houses, and so on come together. So they form a kind of group. They were able to get, the government was able to get a guarantee, a loan from Trinidad, worth approximately $24 million. So between 13 million and 24 million, right? They were able to get that loan for this Garden Group of company or companies. And it was, designed to renovate, to rebuild, to get those indigenous guest houses and hotels back up and running. But that money vanished, and a galvanized was not changed or fixed. No, nothing was done with all those little hotels, and they were just left in ruin. Vine and grass and so on started growing on them. But between 13 and 24 or so, approximately 13 and 24 million dollars just vanish. And it's closer to the 20s. So it's 20-something million, approximately 20-something million dollars just vanish like that. Nothing done on those little indigenous guest houses and hotels and so on under the NNP administration. Do the maths. Add another 20 million, approximately 20 million or so to that total. Then we had the Rivera Hotel, not the one that's happening up there now. There was one in the 90s, early 2000s, where some white folks promised to build land and water recreational facilities, golf course, hotel and all kind of stuff. And the NNP administration again gave a guarantee. They took a loan in the name of the people of Grenada, and those white folks took the money, drew down the money, and they run away with it. And we lost approximately $35 million in that particular hotel scandal. So those white folks, them and their family, run away with that money. Nobody went to jail, nobody arrested, nobody charged. Approximately $35 million vanished just like that. Taxpayers, again, was left holding the bag. So add that to the total. Then at Mount Hartman, Ekram J. Miller, another white, blue-eye guy, came and they were able to trick the NNP administration, right? Another blue-eyed white man came in and they were able to trick the NNP administration while they were in power to give him Mount Hartman for less than nothing. And he said he's going to build a Ritz-Carlton hotel and all this big thing. And the guy was broke. The guy again got the government to take a loan in the name of the taxpayers of the country. The guy drew down the money. He did not build not a column, not a piece of wall, nothing in Mount Hartman. But he was able to run away with approximately $36 million. He was able to run away with approximately $36 million. You know, initially we were saying 28 million, but when we do deeper research, it was approximately $36 million the guy ran away with, he and his family. Nobody went to jail, nobody arrested, nobody charged under the NNP administration. Then we had Dipcon Engineering when the NNP administration came into power. In 1995, they met Dipcon Engineering doing roads and so on, and they had contracts to do roads. The NNP administration got rid of them without even looking at the contracts, looking at anything. And they took the government to court, and they were awarded $11.2 million. The government failed to pay them that money, and they took the NNP administration to court in the Privy Council, right? And they won $34 million compensation. So what could have been just $11 million damages and so on, moved to $34 million, and taxpayers had to pay, right? And then we had the call center fiasco, where the cousin of Keith Mitchell, who was prime minister at the time, he was involved in a call center venture, call center company. It's a private company. And that company ended up into financial problems, right? But it's a private company. They had to approach a bank and get bailout, get a loan or whatever, refinance or whatever. But this company involving Keith Mitchell's cousin approached the Keith Mitchell-led administration, the government of Grenada. And the NNP administration, the Keith Mitchell-led administration, decided to invest $9 million in this company that is in financial difficulties and give them a loan or a guarantee. Take a guarantee or give a guarantee to a bank so that the bank will give the company a loan in the name of the taxpayers of the country of $9 million again. So that's $9 million as a loan, $9 million as a guarantee. So that's $18 million because the company went bankrupt soon after and we were left holding the bag because we did not get any returns on the investment that the NNP administration claimed we we're going to get 40% returns. So we lost $18 million in this call center fiasco. Plus the proceeds, because we had shares in Cable and Wireless. When that was sold, the taxpayers' government coffers supposed to get approximately $4.5 million. But because the NNP administration accepted liability for that company, the money went straight into paying the debts of that company. So we ended up losing approximately $22.5 million in this call center fiasco under the NNP administration. Nobody went to jail, nobody charged, nobody arrested, nothing like that. So if you do the math based on what I just told you, we are already over $200 million. we are already over $200 million. Monies that could have gone to fixing roads, fixing schools, fixing police stations, fixing medical stations, creating opportunities for women and youth under the NNP administration. And don't even talk about the first stadium. The first stadium, we were told, not one black cent of taxpayers' money is going towards building it. Then Tutus, Grenada fell out with Taiwan. And then we discovered that Grenada took loans from Taiwan, 2 loans, under the NNP administration to build the first stadium. And the first stadium was not built properly. The structural integrity of the stadium was compromised. So when Ivan came, it folded up like a box of matches, and it was not even insured. So you can get compensated and so on, not even insured. You can imagine that? An investment of over between 52 and $55 million. You did not even insure the building. Think about it now. And then we discovered that they were owing Taiwan, the Exim Bank of Taiwan, almost $55 or so million. So that Ivan just folded the thing up and that money just gone, disappeared. The stadium was not built properly. Steel issue, rusting, the whole structure of the thing was compromised. And when you calculate, when you convert that, it's $100 and something million that gone down the drain just like that, And we had to pay it back. Luckily, they were able to get a settlement where 50% was removed, like a kind of debt forgiveness, and they had to pay 50%, the next half. I'm telling you, still about $100 million or so they had to pay with interest and so on. So you're talking about over $300 million under the NNP administration that those conmen and crooks, those convestors, those fraudsters, and then with the incompetence of the NNP administration, with the wanton behavior, the irresponsible behavior of the NNP administration, we lost almost $300 million, and there is nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. But these same political bastards want to come back. They want to come back in power. They want power again. Grenadians, lest you forget, some of these same players are around still. I am saying we have enough sense, but we need to teach our young people and let them know what the NNP administration did to this country. Because you hear them talking about they did this, and they could tell you about their achievements, and they could tell you when they were in power, what they did. Ask them about those convestors, crooks, and fraudsters who came here under the NNP administration and robbed this country of over $300 million. Ask them. It is important. But you must tell the young people. Remind the young people in your household. Let them know the past. Remind them about the past. Because if you don't know your history, you may forget and return to those oppressors. You may forget and return to those political bastards. Because they're hungry for power. They want to come back into power. But lest you forget, they were in power for 20-something years. Those political Draculas, they were nasty, They were looters on an industrial scale. But they were Draculas watching over, they were vampires watching over the blood bank of Grenada. But you see, you have to understand, if you put hyenas, political hyenas, to look after goats and sheep, what you expect would happen? They'll devour them, they'll go eat them up. That is what we had here for 20-something years. Those political hyenas. and those political Draculas and vampires. They were looters on industrial scale. A lot of them got rich, filthy rich. They cannot fool me. They might be able to fool you. But they want power, and they're hungry for power. So they give you this impression that they're clean and that they're, they were never involved in politics. They were never wrong, and they fresh, and they, no, sir. They're not. They're nasty. They're no good. And they cannot fool me. They might be able to fool one or two of you all, but not me. But you have to remind your young people, remind the young men, remind the young women, remind our people so that they can remember. Let them know what happened in the past, because it may happen again down the road. If you forget, lest you forget what Grenada experienced under those political bastards. But we have not given the NDC enough credit for keeping Grenada safe and for keeping Grenada stable and for safeguarding taxpayers' money and making sure that those convestors, crooks, scammers, fraudsters don't come here and rob the little that we have. That is important. We don't give NDC enough credit because remember, they accuse the NDC of being young and inexperienced and they cannot manage and they cannot this and they cannot that. But so far, they have been able to manage well and prevent those conmen and crooks from leeching taxpayers' money, from robbing and raping the little resources that we have in this state. They have been able to prevent that from happening, and they must be commended. They have to be commended, lest you forget that. Because we can forget things easily with the hype and all the pomp and pageantry. Remember, when the real stupid season comes around, rallies and meetings and all kind of stuff, and then you forget what we experience as a country for 20-something years. But you have a duty. You have a responsibility to remind the young people or to educate the young people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique about what we experienced under the NNP administration. Because they're still around. Those players are still around. So I thought as we celebrate 4 years, we need to celebrate the fact that the NDC administration, the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team, they have been able to safeguard taxpayers and prevent those convestors, those crooks, those scammers, those fraudsters from taking, from robbing, from stealing, from running away with our taxpayers' money. So we need to give them credit for that. They deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve it. Yes, they deserve it. Well deserved. Well deserved. We need to give them credit for that. But you have a responsibility to speak to the young people. You have a responsibility to educate the young people of this country, particularly those who are just turning 18 or 19 or 20 or 21 or 22 or 23 or 24 or 25. You have a responsibility as adults to speak to the young people about what Grenada had to endure, what we experienced under the NNP administration during the time in government. The amount of convestors, the amount of crooks, the amount of fraudsters, the amount of phonies, the amount of thieves who came here under the NNP administration and robbed taxpayers' money, and none of them went to jail. None of them arrested. None of them charged. Nothing came out of any of these things. But we lost almost approximately $300 million. And there are other scandals, other fiascos that may take it all the way up to $400 million. Yep, millions and millions and millions we lost. But we have to remind the young people, most importantly, and I cannot over stress that. I cannot stop stressing the need for you to talk to the young people about this and let them know what we experienced during the NNP administration time. It is of paramount importance. When you are at the dinner table, when you are at the lunch table, when you are at the breakfast table, you need to discuss these things. Tell them what we experienced. And we're not going back there. We are not returning to that kind of governance where irresponsibility reigned, where incompetence was the order of the day, where squandermania was it all. Squandermania. That's the right word here. They cared, they were not, they cared less about anything. It is sad, but you have a duty, you have a responsibility to remind the young people of this country. So when they talk about they did this and they did that, and during the time, remind them about the things that I am telling you about. And they would put their heads in a crocus bag or a pigtail bucket, never to show it again. Because they ain't good. They know damn good. They know good. They were there for all of these years. And they allowed those people to roll into this country and cause taxpayers to hold the raw end of the stick, to hold the bag. But folks, I thought I should mention that because thanks to the NDC administration, Grenada has not experienced that for the last 4 years. And I challenge anybody out there, can you tell me if any convestor, if any fraudster, if any con man came in here during the 4 years of NDC and took taxpayers' money and run with it? I would love for somebody to challenge me. I would love that. You can call and challenge me. If I am not talking the truth, call. The number is 538-0933. Call and challenge me. Say, hey, Kem, that is not the case. I await your call. If there is anybody listening to me on Facebook, on YouTube, on the radio, right, on Vibes 101.3 FM, on 106.3 FM, if you believe that I am not telling the truth, I want you to pick up that phone and call me on 538-0933. I'll bring you live and challenge me, because I would love for you to do so. Challenge me on what I am saying. And it could be from any political organization. I don't care what party you support. Challenge me. Our beloved Prime Minister is in Suriname.
I paid a courtesy call on Her Excellency the President of Suriname, and I was happy to also have the honor of the Foreign Minister present. It was, as you're aware, I'm attending the energy conference that's taking place in Suriname. It's actually my first energy conference. I'm here at the invitation of Her Excellency to speak at the conference, so we discussed that. We see Suriname as an example of what a country that pursues oil and gas exploration in a responsible manner, and also in a manner that promotes the economic interests of the country. So we had a brief conversation about collaborating with Suriname and learning from its experience. Accompanying me was Mr. Nazim Buck. He's a former Minister of Finance, and he's the head of our technical working group that's working on our own oil and gas exploration. And then we discussed areas that are common to CARICOM, Suriname and Grenada: energy security, food security, and connectivity, because as you're aware, as members of CARICOM and as countries that are impacted by climate change, we share those issues in common, and we see them as areas for greater cooperation. I think if we just start with the bilateral relations, but I could perhaps also share a little bit about Your Excellency's personal experience, as a medical doctor, as a former Speaker of the House, and as someone who's championed climate change. She's seen firsthand on prior visits to Grenada what hurricanes have done to our island, and the fact that in the immediate aftermath of hurricanes you get relief or responses, but when 30, 45 days after, you're left with a heavy burden. And we discussed our own activities to help create the funds that are necessary to help countries like Grenada recover from the impact of climate change and the need for more funding for adaptation. So that's one area we spoke of. And Suriname, in a sense, is perhaps one of the best examples of how countries, despite the challenges, have been able to be carbon negative by preserving the vast majority of its forest cover, so that it is not contributing to the net emissions of green polluted gases, carbon gases that harm countries like Grenada. So conversations about hurricane resilience, resistance, how we come back from these climatic challenges would have been part of the discussions we had as well.
Yes, and that's the beautiful thing about our beloved Prime Minister. He's out there representing Grenada, with class, with a team of competent people, and you realize he's a statesman. He's loved not just by Grenadians home and abroad, but by regional and international leaders, because they know genuine when they see genuine. They know sincere, a person with a sincere heart when they see one. And that is why we have seen in the last 4 years our beloved Prime Minister invited to so many events, so many activities, so many forums, to be a part of conversations that can better the region and better Grenada, CARICOM, and PT Martinique. We have not seen that under Keith Mitchell's leadership and under the NNP. No, because you see, as a leader, you also have to be humble. You can't be arrogant and believe that you're some big boss in the region. And that is why most of the leaders never embrace the former leader. They never embrace him in any big way. And you're seeing it all up to this day. All up to this day. So again, kudos to the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. We are proud of you. We are happy that you continue to represent us with distinction. And we are seeing the results of that. I remember some years ago, I attended a conference or something, either in Latin America or so. And I remember a good pal from Jamaica saying to me, "Hey, Kem, your minister is not at the table, but you should sit at the table, because you have to be at the table for your voice to be heard and for benefits to come for your country." And then I sat and I spoke at that high-level summit or engagement. So being at the table means a lot, and it says a lot. So again, kudos, and that's the way to go.
The Quintry Apprenticeship Program graduation ceremony held on Friday celebrated the achievements of the 1 female and 9 male participants who underwent 12 months of practical and theoretical training in various aspects of carpentry. Family members, instructors, government officials, and industry representatives gathered to recognize the graduates' dedication and hard work. Certificates were presented to the 10 graduates who expressed gratitude for the knowledge and experience gained throughout the program. Some graduates also received special awards for outstanding performances. The training was facilitated by the Grenada National Training Agency, the T.A. Marisha Community College, and Creative Design Building and Construction Company Limited. CEO of the Grenada National Training Agency, Dr. Kemoy Edwards, praised the graduates for their perseverance and highlighted the importance of vocational training in creating employment opportunities and addressing the demand for skilled workers.
We have buildings, we have homes being built, government buildings, other industries, and it is a key role that the carpenters and the masons and so will play in national development. We need not just the engineers who will do the designs, but we also need the carpenters who can begin to translate those designs into actual skills and practical implementation. So whether it's that you are preparing for solid plastering or looking at the timber on the platforms and so forth, you have acquired the competencies that you need for the world of work.
The graduates received an official induction to carpentry by President of Creative Designs, Dr. Anselm Latouche.
Today we proudly welcome you into the world and the trade of carpentry. We welcome you again as brothers into the what we call the brotherhood of construction building. So you are now welcome into the profession of construction as a carpenter.
During the ceremony, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Elvis Moraine, commended the graduates for their commitment to developing valuable skills that will contribute to the construction sector and the wider economy.
The ministry feels very proud about this because we are trying to improve skill and the skill taking and so on. But when we start this way, we have to find a way to sustain this and work with other industry partners. We have to create the environment where we can have our young people gainfully employed. Colleagues, let us be mindful of the fact as what happening in the world today. The opportunities that we used to talk about traditionally is no longer there. So we realize that people used to travel all over the place, so you have to stay here and build your country. But for us to do it, we must build our competencies.
The Carpentry Apprenticeship Program was designed to equip participants with hands-on experience, technical expertise, and workplace readiness, helping to prepare them for successful careers.
Yes, and that's a very good initiative by the government, partnering with the training agency and other partners, right? Other players. That is the way to go. Hands-on. You get these young people to receive the training. Yes, it was for a year, but they received the training and they are now certified. They're now able to go on a project and work right away. That is what you need. So the government has moved into that direction. They've pivoted into that particular direction. They have a number of people receiving training in so many areas. And the whole aim is once they complete the training, they can get work one time. They can start tomorrow, so to speak. And I love that. It's not like the new Imani training program. You have somebody in some area that they're not interested in, and you keep them there for 10 years doing the same thing that they're not interested in, and they must go to your rally, they must go to your political meetings and all of these things, or else, because you're just giving them a stipend and you're treating them like this is different. This is different. So I want to commend the government. I want to commend the Ministry of Education. I want to commend the training agency and the government of Grenada. That's the way to go. Folks, I want to give you the next 10 minutes to call in and speak about anything you want to speak about. The next 10 minutes. Because I know I wouldn't get somebody to call and challenge me on what I said regarding some of these field projects and where we lost hundreds of millions of dollars. All right? Because I speak facts. When I talk on this program, I bring to you the evidence, the facts. But I have 10 minutes to spare. If you're there and you want to call in, you can. Same number, 538-0933. 538-0933. And you're free to talk about anything. Anything you want to talk about. All right? So we still have 10 minutes to spare tonight before I wrap up the program at 9 in the PM. So if you want to call, you can. Maybe you have something on your mind. Maybe you have a suggestion. Maybe you have a recommendation. Maybe you have, some issue that you may want to discuss. You can. You're free to do so. And anyone could call. You can add that same number on WhatsApp and call if you're overseas. You can call if you're here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. It's free. All right? 538-0933. So it's an open line, an open opportunity for the next 9 minutes. You can call if you want to. All right, I see we have one caller here. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Kim. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Calling from Maryland. I just calling to speak about Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, we didn't hear the first piece of thing. What you said, you?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We are listening to you.
I say I'm just calling speak about the rally on Sunday, man. I in Maryland, and I was in a watch party, and I didn't really miss anything, man. It was just off the chain.
Okay, beautiful.
Congratulations, and I appreciate everything that is going on in Grenada. I was down in January, and I got registered already, and I will be there for the next election.
All right, beautiful. Thanks, man.
All right.
Great.
All right.
Yes, that's the spirit. That's the way to go. Yeah, the rally was well attended. And up to this day, the NNP cannot recover. They can't. And you're hearing who and who trying to comment, speak about the crowd. They just can't recover from it. Good evening, caller. Hello.
I'll be on. We are on, Christian. We are on.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, you want to lower? Hold on. Lower the volume
Yeah,
off. Hold on.
Let me lower it. Let me
Yes.
lower it. Let me lower it. Let me lower it.
No problem. No problem. All right. Go ahead.
The Republic of Carriacou and his wife is going back to Germany, and they would like to say thank you for everything, for entertaining us in the
Yes,
last
man.
few months. Okay?
All right.
That's always, last time I saw you in Hillsborough, I was very happy to see you.
Beautiful. Same here.
Yes,
man. Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Plenty love.
Okay.
Safe travels.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Ciao. Thank you.
Nice. Yes, that's two good friends in Carriacou. Yes, safe travels back to Germany. All right. So again, it's an open opportunity. If you want to call, you can. We still have about 6 minutes left. If you have anything that you want to talk about, you can do so. All right. You're free to do so. The rally was well attended. And I was very happy to see so many young people and women. Those two demographics are very important in securing the victory. Young people and women. So again, the number is 538-0933. It's an open line. You're free to call in. I have 836 people looking at me online, Facebook and YouTube put together. On the radio, we have approximately about, we always look at between the range of 6,000 to 7,000 people listening via the radio. So again, it's a good opportunity for you to call in if you want to. This morning's program, we had about on Facebook 7,000 something people listening to the program on Facebook, and on YouTube 2,000 something people, and on radio 7,000 something people. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Jones.
Hi, good evening.
I don't hear your beautiful tune this evening, but I'm glad that you keep on reminding the people of this country, because there's a famous saying that for people who don't know their history tend to repeat and suffer. So I'm glad that when it comes closer to voting time that you repeat all the things that you say quite often. And I'm glad that you mentioned it, white, blue-eyed folks, because some black original Africans have blue eyes also. So I'm glad you said white blue-eyed, not African blue-eyed. But you keep on the good spirit of reminding them, because I don't want us to fall back in the same history where we suffer as Africans by forgetting our history. And take care of your children. Have a blessed evening.
All right, thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much there, caller. Yeah. It's so important to remind our people. And I task you with a responsibility. All right. I say to you, it's important that you speak to the young. Good evening, caller.
Hey, Kim.
Hi.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, how you doing?
This your boy, man. Coming back from the rally, I'm in Miami International waiting on my connecting flight to Virginia.
Oh, yeah, you're going back to Virginia. Yeah. Safe travels, man.
So the rally was spectacular, man.
Thanks, man. Wonderful.
But what I want to talk about, man, I want to hang up and I want to hear talk about it. I still want to hear about that money with Sheldon Scott. We didn't hear anything about that money with Sheldon.
Well, that matter is before the court.
Okay.
Yeah, so once it's...
But we had to keep talking about it. We need to know.
Yeah, but it's before the court. Yeah. So once it's before the court, you're allowed to be solved there. All right?
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right.
Nice, man.
Well, we touch base.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my good friend, and I wish you all the best as you travel back to Virginia. So big up your whole self, Mr. Campbell. All right? Pick up your whole self. It was really nice speaking to you while you were here. We didn't get to meet this time around, but, next time. Yeah. So we still have about 3 minutes left in the program. You're free. If you want to talk, you can call. You're free to do so. Again, the number 538-0933. 538-0933. If you want to call, you can. Yeah, so the rally was really well attended, and we all should feel proud of that, because the NNP, they have not been able to call a rally since the one that they had in Busheju Boss. They have not been able to hold a rally anyway. All right, and some people say, well, maybe they don't have the money. Some people say, well, maybe they're afraid that the turnout will be poor. But I'm telling you, it's really terrible, because NNP is known to always want to have a rally and want to have a crowd, but we have not seen that in recent times. So let's see. Because I remember the one in Busheju, that bus, I went there personally to see. Because Kem Jones, I don't just talk. I go in person. If they have a little rally anywhere, I'm going to see. This is a free country. They could only talk and say, oh, Kem Jones come there, and Kem Jones this, and Kem Jones. But you know me. I normally go. All right? Because I want to see the numbers. I want to see who attended and that kind of stuff. So they have not had a rally now. Long time. They had a convention. Imagine that. You're having a convention and you're afraid to have a rally? Really, really terrible. Hello? 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 All right. So we missed that call from Ontario, Canada. You can call back. If you want to, you can. We missed that call there. All right. Hello? All right. So, hello? Hello? All right. We miss that person there. Somebody calling from Canada. All right. So, folks, we are now at 9 in the PM. I want to wish you all the very best. Have a wonderful night rest. I'll be back with you tomorrow, God's willing, from 8 in the AM to continue the journey. Someone is calling from St. Thomas. Let's see this call from St. Thomas. Hello.
Hi, good night, Tim.
Hi, good night. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Hi, good man. I'm so happy to hear you bring back this talk tonight about the money, the scandal, the money that these people, NMP, let these people and get away with. I think this is something that we need to broadcast all along. I even think that the NDC should also use it as part of the campaign, whether we want to do it in a video or whether we want to talk about it on the platform. But I think it's something that we should make public, as you say, make young people know about what's going on, because there was a lot of scandal. I mean, too much. And now they want to say they're coming back to rescue Grenada. I think that is really time that to bring back this. Really glad to bring back this tonight.
All right.
And I look at the rally on Sunday, man. It was epic. I mean, I know that the NMP and the PM, or the name, is shaking in the bush right now.
All right.
Anyway,
So how is the Virgin Islands?
Well, things are, you can't complain too much. I mean, you just have to make things work out. I mean, not because you're out here. Some people might think everything might be a bell of roses, but you work hard, make things work. At least you're out here, you could make it. But I looking to come home, man. I looking to come home and make things work.
All right, you're registered already,
I'm missing out on the good things that is happening.
And you're registered already?
No, not yet.
Well, that's important, you know. All right?
Not yet.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I looking to come and make this thing happen.
All right. One love.
One.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
How are you doing, my brother?
Good evening. My reason why I can't and I don't listen to the opposition leader anymore is because I observed earlier this year, I realized that she had been lying too much as a woman of the cloth, a woman who says she is spiritual. You know, I can't listen to anything and I can't believe anything she say anymore. What make me believe that? Couple months ago, when the Prime Minister went to the United States to hold that meeting in the UN meeting, it was announced in Parliament where he was going, but I listened to her in her meeting telling the people that he went to Venezuela to put peace between the Venezuela minister and Trump, and everybody, you know, everybody was listening. Even the followers, you know, they was amazed to see the woman. She was in Parliament when they say where he was going, and she come out openly in a meeting like that. I mean, Kit Mitchell lie and he lies smart, but she lying so openly, and that's why he don't like her for that, because he can't understand how she lying so openly. She should be technical in her lying, but she lying too plain. Everybody seen how she lying, and she must really stop that. That's why every one of us who support her, we running away from her now.
And
so she must stop that.
You got registered today. You there? Hello?
Hello?
You were able to get registered finally.
Oh yes, I'm registered today, so that's why I'm registered now to vote for the NDC. No more for NNP, because she make me see that how she lying too much. She had to stop that.
Yeah.
She got to stop that line.
Beautiful. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Yes. And again, folks, continue registering. And if you go to any of these electoral offices and they tell you I can't get registered, challenge them. Call me. Hello. Hello? All right. Yeah, you can call me up. You can holler at me and I will assist you. I will guide you accordingly. All right? I will guide you accordingly. That is important. Registration is keys and numbers game. Call me up. Call me up. Speak to me. Speak to me once you're having difficulties. All right? Please do so. Give me a buzz and I will happily assist you in getting registered. All right? Nice. That's important. So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful night. Again, I'll be back with you tomorrow, God's willing, to continue that journey